Now, one of the most curious things in the most recent Three Houses trailer is this scene. So, what exactly is happening here? Does Byleth have the ability to reverse time? Can he see into the future? Or is there some outside force making this sequence happen? So, let's go over these questions and attempt to come to a conclusion as to what Byleth's power actually is. Before we discuss this any further, we should go check out the trailer. There are two scenes in particular that are important to today's topic. First is this one.
Same time, you alone begin to see a mysterious girl named Sothis, who appears within your mind.
The second is the scene where Byleth actually uses this time-bending ability to deflect a deadly blow. So, what does the first have to do with the second? Well, look at this. Credit goes to a Reddit user for finding out these scenes go together. I couldn't find the original post or who made it, but if you know who it is, go ahead and link it in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, if you splice the scenes together like this, it is quite obvious that Sothis is going to play a major role in Byleth's ability to see the future / turn back time. Also, it isn't out of the question to think that Sothis is the one affecting time completely, and Byleth is just a beneficiary. Okay, with that out of the way, let's go through some different theories as to how this will actually work. Let's assume that Byleth can call on Sothis at any time. This may allow him to turn back time similar to how the Miller's turn wheel worked in Echoes. There, the player could choose to rewind time at any point in the battle, but there was a limit to how many times it could be used. This allowed the player to revive fallen units and undo costly mistakes without playing the entire map again. If Three Houses went this direction, it would totally make sense. It seems like Echoes was a testing ground for a lot of the elements in Three Houses, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was another returning feature. Now, what if Sothis only appears situationally? Maybe she could act as a buffer to keep Byleth alive. Think the miracle skill from past games. If Byleth takes a fatal blow, he could be shielded by Sothis. This would only be possible once a map or something like that, but it would allow the player to avoid some inconvenient game overs. The possibility of this being how Byleth's mysterious power works is honestly pretty slim. Looking back at the trailer, it's pretty obvious that Byleth was hit by that axe, then time reset so Byleth could react to the attack. Because it is so unlikely, you may be wondering why I would even include it in today's video. This is because this is one of the directions they could take that I think would be the best. It would keep players from having too much power while allowing them a slight break when they make a mistake with Byleth's placement. Another simple variation of this could be how Mipha's grace works in The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. After so long in Breath of the Wild, Link unlocks an ability that allows him to recover his health upon taking fatal damage. This could be the case for Byleth and Sothis. Byleth may just be revived by Sothis once a map if needed. She could just act as a second health bar. Moving on, let's assume that Sothis is a constant companion to Byleth. She did say,
In your mind.
So maybe she'll be a constant voice in Byleth's head, similar to how Palutena speaks with Pit in Kid Icarus Uprising. Palutena is rarely a physical presence speaking to Pit, however, they communicate all throughout Pit's adventure. Sothis could guide Byleth and warn him of danger. She could give warnings when a tough enemy is around, or even tell the player if and when there is a recruitable unit on the enemy side. Okay, final theory for today. Do you remember this line from Awakening when Robin says, it's strange. Here on the battlefield, I can see things. Basically, Robin is just saying, hey, I can see the enemy's inventories and battle stats. No big deal. And this is the closest we have ever gotten to a story explanation as to why the player is able to know literally everything about the opponent. Sothis could be Three Houses' in-game explanation for this. Maybe Byleth isn't really a master teacher or tactician, he just has this otherworldly goddess lady who lets him in on the enemy stat makeup and inventory. Alright, that'll do it for today's discussion. Make sure to comment your thoughts on today's topic. I will be making a follow-up video later this week discussing your thoughts. Also, I would like to thank Tia Valkyrie for giving me the idea for today's video. If you have any good discussion topics, make sure to leave them in the comments as well. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion.